Alright, let's talk about something that matters more than any machine, any deadline, or any paycheck. Let's talk about safety. I've been in a lot of workplaces. I've seen the dirt, the grime, the sweat, and I've learned one simple truth. Safety isn't just a binder full of rules collecting dust on a shelf. It's about people. It's about looking out for the person working next to you just as much as you look out for yourself. I remember talking to a guy named Dave. He was a veteran welder, one of the best. He'd done the same task 1,000 times. But one day, he got complacent. He skipped one small safety step. A heavy steel plate shifted unexpectedly. It didn't kill him, but it changed his life forever. He couldn't work anymore. He couldn't play catch with his son. His family, his team, his whole world was turned upside down. That one mistake had a ripple effect that touched dozens of people. The financial cost of an accident is staggering, sure. There are medical bills, insurance hikes, lost production, and legal fees. But the real cost, the human cost, is something you can't put a price on. It's the empty chair at the dinner table. When we talk about safety, we are talking about protecting our livelihoods, our families, and our futures. So, we have to change how we think about this. Safety isn't a restriction. It's not a burden. It's a culture. It's about having the courage to speak up when you see something that isn't right, and having the humility to listen when someone points out a risk you missed. It's about caring for each other as a team, because at the end of the day, we are all in this together. We share the work, we share the risks, and we all share the responsibility of making sure every single one of us gets to go home safe. In the world of safety, we use a few key terms you need to know like the back of your hand. They might sound similar, but the difference is huge. Let's start with the big one, an accident. An accident is an unplanned event that results in injury, death, or property damage. A chain snaps during a lift and a beam falls, crushing a piece of equipment and injuring a worker. That's an accident. We work tirelessly to prevent it, but it has serious, often tragic consequences. Next up, an incident. An incident is broader. It's an unplanned event that could have resulted in harm, but didn't. Maybe that same chain snaps, and the beam falls into a clearly marked exclusion zone. The equipment is damaged, but thankfully no one gets hurt. This is still a serious event. It's a loud, clear warning that something in your system is broken. Now, the one people ignore most often, and it's the most important, the near miss. A near miss is an incident where no injury and no property damage occurred, but given a slight shift in time or position, it could have. A rigger walks under a suspended load and nothing happens. A worker uses a frayed sling, but it holds for one more lift. Someone trips over a tool left on the floor but catches their balance. These are the moments that should make the hair on your arms stand up. They are free lessons. They are golden opportunities to fix a problem before it leads to an actual accident. This brings us to the safety pyramid. Picture it. At the very top, you have one major accident. Below that, you have a larger number of minor incidents. And at the very bottom, forming the massive base, you have hundreds, even thousands, of near misses and unsafe acts. The logic is simple and undeniable. The more near misses and unsafe behaviors you allow at the bottom, the more likely you are to have a serious accident at the top. By reporting and correcting every single near miss, you shrink the base of the pyramid. You are actively chipping away at the foundation of a potential disaster. Reporting a near miss isn't about getting someone in trouble. It's about saving a life. You can't protect yourself from a danger you don't see. That's why the first step is spotting a hazard. A hazard is anything with the potential to cause harm. It's not just the big stuff, a frayed electrical cord, a puddle of oil on the floor, poorly stacked materials, a burnt-out light bulb in a dark corner, noise, dust, repetitive motions. Walk the shop with your eyes wide open. Constantly ask, what here could hurt me or my team? Look high, look low, look all around. After spotting a hazard, assess the risk. Risk equals likelihood times severity. Use a risk matrix. Imagine a grid. Likelihood one side, severity the other. Likelihood, rare to almost certain. Severity, minor injury to fatality. Example, wobbly ladder rarely used, a low risk. Example, crane with faulty brake used every hour. Extremely high risk. It's common sense prioritization. Example scenario, grinder with a cracked guard. Hazard, damaged guard. Likelihood, in a busy shop, pretty likely someone will use it. Severity, wheel shatters, shrapnel like a grenade, loss of an eye or worse. Conclusion, high risk. Don't walk past it. Take it out of service now. Hazard ID and risk assessment is a continuous loop. The shop changes daily. New materials arrive, new jobs start, equipment moves. Stay in that mindset, always scanning, always thinking. Make it a habit, like putting on your safety glasses. Before every task, take a minute. Mental walkthrough. Hazards, risks, controls. This 2-minute habit is one of the most powerful safety tools. It's how you see trouble before it starts. Okay, so you found a hazard and you know it's risky. Now what? You don't just jump straight to wearing gloves and hoping for the best. There's a smarter way. The hierarchy of controls. Think of it as a ladder. Most effective at the top, least at the bottom. Elimination. The very best control. This means getting rid of the hazard completely. It's not always possible, but you should always ask the question first. For example, can we design a part so it doesn't need to be welded in a confined space? Can we get pre-cut materials delivered to avoid using the bandsaw for a certain job? If you can eliminate the hazardous task altogether, you have eliminated the risk. It's gone. Poof. If you can't eliminate the hazard, the next best step is substitution. This means replacing the hazard with something safer. Can you use a less toxic cleaning chemical? Can you use a water-based paint instead of a solvent-based one with harmful fumes? In material handling, maybe use a lightweight composite instead of a heavy steel plate for a non-structural part. Substitution doesn't remove the task, but it significantly reduces the inherent danger. It's a powerful way to lower the overall risk profile of your entire shop floor. Next down the ladder are engineering controls. These are physical changes to the workplace that isolate people from the hazard. They don't rely on a worker's behavior. Think about machine guards. Think about guardrails on platforms. Think about ventilation systems that suck welding fumes out of the air. In a fab shop, a great example is installing a jib crane at a workstation to handle heavy parts, so workers don't have to lift them manually, or putting up sound-dampening curtains around a noisy grinding station. These engineered solutions are built-in protection that works whether you're having a good day or a bad day. All right, so we've worked our way down the hierarchy, and now we're at the last line of defense. Personal protective equipment, or PPE. This is the stuff you actually wear. Hard hat, safety glasses, steel-toed boots, gloves, hearing protection. Let me be crystal clear about this. PPE is absolutely essential, but honestly, it's the least effective control. Why? Because, well, it does nothing to remove the hazard itself. The hazard is still there. The PPE just puts a barrier between you and the hazard. If that barrier fails, or if you aren't using it correctly, you're completely exposed to the danger. Think of it like this. Your safety glasses are there to stop a piece of shrapnel from hitting your eye. They're critical. But wouldn't it be better if the machine had a proper guard, like an engineering control, that prevented the shrapnel from flying out in the first place? Of course it would. That's exactly why we never rely on PPE alone. It's the final piece of the puzzle. Used after all other controls have been put in place. It's your personal suit of armor for the risks that remain. But remember, even the best armor has its limits. Using the right PPE for the job is, honestly, non-negotiable. You wouldn't wear cloth gloves to handle a piece of hot steel, and you definitely wouldn't wear regular sunglasses when you're welding. Each task has specific risks, and you need the specific gear to protect against them. Flame-resistant clothing for welding and cutting. High-impact safety glasses, face shield for grinding, cut-resistant gloves for handling sharp metal edges, hearing protection in high-noise areas. Your employer is responsible for providing it, but you are responsible for wearing it, and wearing it correctly, 100% of the time. And finally, your PPE is only as good as the condition it's in. You gotta inspect it every single day. Look for cracks in your hard hat. Check for scratches on your safety glasses that mess with your vision. Make sure your gloves don't have holes. If your gear is damaged, it can't do its job. Don't try to get one more day out of it. Get it replaced immediately. Your eyesight, your hearing, and your hands are worth way more than the cost of a new pair of gloves. Taking care of your gear is taking care of yourself. Sooner or later, you're going to have to lift something. I'm not just talking about heavy steel here. Even lifting a medium-weight box the wrong way can cause a lifetime injury. Back injuries are one of the most common and debilitating in this line of work. But they're also preventable. Use your body the way it was designed, not brute strength, smart mechanics. Before you lift, stop and plan. Look at the object. How heavy is it? Is it awkward, sharp edges, greasy, or slippery? Look at your path. Clear of clutter, cords, or spills? Is the destination ready? 10 seconds of thought can prevent a lifetime of pain. If it's too heavy or awkward for one person, don't be a hero. Get help. Now the lift. Get a firm footing, feet shoulder-width apart, one foot slightly in front for balance. Get close to the load. Squat by bending at hips and knees. Keep your back straight. Keep your chest up. Keep your shoulders back. Don't bend at the waist or round your back. Use your legs. They're the strongest. Get a firm grip. Tighten your core to stabilize the spine. Lift by straightening your legs. Keep the load close to your body, between your knees and your chest. Keep your back straight the whole time. To turn, don't twist your body. Move your feet. Take small steps to change direction. To set the load down, reverse the process. Bend at the knees and hips. Keep your back straight and let your legs lower the load to the ground. It's a simple technique. Mastering it protects your long-term health. There's a limit to what one person can or should lift safely, no matter how good their technique is. Pushing that limit is a gamble, and the stakes are your own body. That's when we need to be smart and use the tools available to us. Mechanical aids are your best friend when it comes to moving heavy or bulky materials. Hand truck, pallet jack, chain hoists, jib cranes, forklifts. These tools are designed to do the heavy lifting so you don't have to. The rule is simple. If a load is too heavy, too awkward, too big, or needs to be moved a long distance, use a mechanical aid. Don't even think about trying to manhandle it. Before using any piece of equipment, however, you need to know how to use it safely. Have you been trained on it? Have you done a quick pre-use inspection to make sure it's in good working order? Check the tires on a cart, look for hydraulic leaks on a pallet jack, and make sure the safety latch on a hoist hook is working. A faulty piece of equipment can be just as dangerous as lifting improperly. Sometimes a mechanical aid isn't practical or available, but the load is still too much for one person. This is where team lifting comes in. But a team lift is more than just grabbing a side and heaving. It requires coordination and communication. Before the lift, the team needs to huddle up. One person should be designated as the leader. This person will call the shots, discuss the weight, discuss the path, agree on the plan. Everyone should be of similar height and strength if possible to keep the load balanced. During the team lift, communication is everything. The leader should call out every command clearly. Ready to lift? Lifting on 3, 1, 2, 3. A successful team lift is a smooth, coordinated dance, not a wrestling match. It protects your backs and gets the job done safely. When it comes to cranes and rigging, there are some lines you just don't cross. These are the absolute, unbreakable, never rules. They are not guidelines. They are commandments written from the hard lessons of past tragedies. Every single person in the shop, operator, the rigger, or just working in the area, must know them by heart. First and foremost, never lift a load over a person, ever. The area under a suspended load is a no-go zone. Second, never lift a load that is heavier than the rated capacity of the crane. Never exceed the hoist's rated capacity. Never overload any single piece of rigging. Third, never use damaged or uninspected rigging. That frayed sling might have held yesterday, but today could be the day it fails. Fourth, never leave a load suspended in the air unattended. If you have to leave the controls, the load must be safely on the ground. And fifth, never perform a side pull. Cranes are designed to lift straight up. Clear communication during a lift is just as critical as the equipment itself. The operator often doesn't have a clear view. They rely on one person, and one person only, the designated signal person. This person directs the lift using a set of precise, standardized hand signals. Both the operator and the signal person must know these signals perfectly. If the operator loses sight of the signal person for any reason, they must stop the lift immediately. Finally, every single worker has the authority and the responsibility to stop an unsafe job. It doesn't matter if you're a brand new apprentice or a seasoned veteran, the rigger, or just a bystander. If you see something that makes you uncomfortable, a frayed sling, someone walking under a load, a lift that looks unstable, you have the right to call stop. We look out for each other. We speak up for each other. Because at the end of the shift, the goal is simple. We all go home every single day, safe and sound.